welcome to Yarkshire Gamer and the usual monthly update. This one for January 2021. So happy new year to everyone who bobs down and watches Yarkshire TV on a regular basis. I hope this year's going to be a lot better than the previous one. We're still in the middle of a big lockdown here in the UK, but we have got vaccinations on the way, so fingers crossed. Some of us are closer to being vaccinated than others, so all you lucky youngsters, fingers crossed. We should have jabs in the arm by summer maybe, and be back gaming here, fingers crossed, by September, late summer, you never know. And so we'll have missed gaming for over a year here at Yarkshire Gamer, which is a long time. So let's have a look at what we've done this month. It's mostly been painting, with the AnalogHobbies Winter Paint Challenge ongoing, and plenty of new units for you to have a look at. So if you followed this vlog or whatever before, you'll know that this year I've planned to do a Allied Italian Legion in 28mm, a rough figure scale of 1 to 20, using Victrix figures mostly, but with a few Aventine figures. And to get all that done, it's just over 220 figures. Get all that done in 3 months during the AnalogHobbies Winter Paint Challenge. For those of you who don't know, it's been going for 11 years now, and it's just a group of guys from around the world and girls who do a bit of painting during the winter months and post them up on a group blog and kind of just encourage each other through the winter months. There's a point system involved just for the number of troops that you paint, but that's more of a friendly thing to keep you going. It's not a competition. It's not to see who can do the best figures or who can do the most figures. It's just a friendly group of people who paint and game getting together and paint some stuff. So unit number 1, or base number 1 here, is a command base. I intend to do 3 command bases for the Legion, a commander of foot, commander of horse, and an overall commander. And this is my cavalry general. 2 plastic Victrix figures from the slightly later early Imperial range, but I've used heads from the Republican range just to bring them back into our time period, and then used one of the standard bearer arms from the Italian Allied Legion box set just to finish off the guy on the left. So that's the first base, and let's have a look at some of the units. First gaming unit is this unit of Velite, 24 figures. There should be 32, but would you believe I've lost 8 somewhere. I put all the figures together and primed them a couple of months ago in preparation for the challenge, and unfortunately 8 have disappeared somewhere. Don't know where they've gone, but the words decimation has been mentioned to the rest of them for 8 deserters. So hopefully I can find them, or I can find some alternatives. I've got some Ajima models, but they're quite a bit different. So fingers crossed they'll find them, or somebody somewhere will have 8 spare Victrix Velite that I can borrow or swap for something to get this unit finished. Not based for any particular rule set. As you probably know, I tend to base stuff how I like it to look, and then use a set of rules, and if it doesn't fit my basing, I just change the set of rules. Current favourite for Ancients is Mortimer Glorium, which I've done a video on before, an unboxing and flip through, and I've done a couple of playthroughs. Sadly, we've just not had the availability with lockdown to have a proper game here at Yarkshire Gamer, and it'll be on the list of one of the first things that we do once the doors reopen. So these are based 2 to a base, and they're on 60 by 30, and would you believe his arm's just fallen off. I'll glue that back on in a second. And plain white tunics, plain white shields, nothing fancy. Group of young poor adventurers at the front of the Legion, chucking some javelins, waving their short gladius around. So that's the first unit, the Velite. Next lot of troops are the next line of defence, the first lot of armoured troops. These are the Hastati for the Legion, 64 figures, all based on 60 by 60 bases, which the rest of the Legion will be based on. And these are 8 figures to a base. Quite compact compared to most sets of rules these days, but I just prefer this look. I just think a lot of modern basing systems, especially where they're 20 mil apart, they just look miles apart, and especially when they're ranked behind each other rather than staggered. It just looks like everyone's out for a jolly rather than being drilled. Soldiers shoulder to shoulder fighting. These are really, really nice. Again, 28 mil Victrix, little big man shield transfers. Really bring the figures out. Great look with them being plastic. You can get lots of different poses in there. The faces are really nice, really suit my method of painting. I'll do a tutorial on these when I get to the Triarii. I'll do a tutorial. But very impressed with these. So that's 64 Victrix 28 mil Hastati done this month. And here's the final painted unit for the month. There's a couple of extra figures, but this is the final painted unit. And these are Allied Italian Cavalry, 28 mil again, obviously. And these are from Aventine Miniatures. First Aventine Miniatures I've painted. I remember them coming out a number of years ago now and thinking, wow, I've got to get some of them, and never getting around to it. These are the first ones I've ever painted. I'm very impressed with the way they've come out. Little Big Man Studio transfers again. The Samnite transfers, but for an Italian Allied Legion, the cavalry could be coming from anywhere, so I'm quite happy with that. And you can argue about Republican Roman shield and Italian Roman shield designs or not, having no design till the cows come home, but I'm just happy with how I've done them. So there we go, that's the final unit done this month. 12 Aventine Italian Allied Cavalry. There's just a couple of individual figures to have a look at. So one of the fun things about the AnalogHobbies Winter Challenge is that they have a challenge outside the normal each year, and it's taken form of specific tasks, hobby tasks to do in a form of an island one year, and then this year it's like a dungeon chamber, and you have to go through each chamber, complete a task to get yourself through to sort of the final chamber at the end. And it's quite enjoyable because it allows you to go outside your comfort zone. If you watch, we're coming up to a year now of these monthly updates, vast majority of my stuff is historical, big units, big games. So it's not very often I get to paint an individual figure. And this year, the first few layers of the challenge have enabled me to paint these figures. They're from a game called Malifaux, if you don't recognise them. And one of the crews, Jack Dawes' crew, has these 3 figures, which are called the Guilty. And they're in various frames of torture. And just for a laugh, I've decided that the torture of watching my favourite football club, Bradford City, fits in with these figures in particular. And I've done these for various chambers of the challenge. So this one here is a guy strapped to a chair. And this was kind of showing the problems of supporting a lower league team, in that you get dragged back every year, whether you like it or not, into your season ticket seat, and nobody's going to let you out. So that was that first one. And then this is like a guy in an electric chair. Quite like this figure. I love the electricity sparking out everywhere. And that was kind of illustrating the torture of watching them. And then this little piece here, which is it's quite a horrific figure actually. It's guy dismembered and attached to a X-shaped cross, and I entitled that "The Season is Falling Apart." So there's the 3 Malifaux figures that I've used so far. I've got some other tricks up my sleeve for the rest of the challenge, all Bradford City related, and it's been a good bit of fun painting some different figures for the challenge. So that's everything I've painted this month, and no prizes for guessing what Twerking Progress will be, but we'll go and have a look anyway. So here we have Twerking Progress, and no surprises here really. 28mm Victrix, Italian Allied Legion, and this time we are on the second rank of armoured troops, and we will be painting these Purchaaes when they come into focus. Autofocus camera, my chuff. So I've just used the helmets with 2 feathers on for those, so they'll be coming up soon. In here I've got a couple of 28mm French line lancers. They're not for me, they will be to enter the challenge. You do paint a figure or a couple of figures as a prize for a number of the or one member of the challenge, and these will be going to some lucky recipient at the end of the challenge. I've got an idea where it's going to go, but I'll keep that secret until I've painted them up. And then also in here I've got the remainder of the Jackdaw crew. We've got this big guy here with a noose, Montresaur. I've got an idea for him, and then we've got Lady Nigella, who's like the muse of the gang leader, and female figures allow you to jump around the chambers of the dungeon, so she's going to become useful at some stage. And then finally we've got this guy here, Jackdaw, who is the leader of the gang, in a non-Gary Glitter related way, obviously, because that's not kosher anymore. So that's the work in progress. How much? How much? You'll be glad to know that this month I've spent out. This is the only thing that I've bought this month, would you believe? I've ordered a couple of things today that will be in next month's video, but all that's been bought and arrived in the home of Yorkshire Gaming is this single vehicle. It's a 1/43 scale Ford Escort Mark 1, for all you youngsters who don't know what it is, and lovely model again. This is from a company called Oxford Carnarama, and these are slightly cheaper, probably about a tenner cheaper than the normal ones that I get, which are from a company called Vanguard on 1/43 scale. And I've just brought this one in the purple Sweeney Cortina just to show you. These are slightly, I'd say, plastier, I don't know. So like there you can see the side windows are decal rather than a actually part of the vehicle, and it's quite shiny. All the stuff's on there. It's got, you know, it's got a number plate, it's got the Escort and the Ford, and the front looks good, but it just looks a lot more modelly than this one. This has got the feel of a slightly better feel of a real car, I think, but for 10 quid difference, I'm not going to complain. So that's it. Mark Escort Ford 1 for my Sweeney Game is the only new thing in this month. Sadly, once again, when it comes to gaming, I've not done any. Everything obviously would have to be solo, and I've just not got the enthusiasm up. And with the AnalogHobbies painting challenge, a lot of my spare time, in fact virtually all my spare time, is going on painting and a few other writing projects that I've got on at the moment. But I was just going to show you these just so that I can look back in a few months' time and see whether I've got somewhere. You'll be familiar with my Sweeney Cops and Robbers 1970s game, and still working through 2 sets of rules, 7 TV and Geezer's Shut It. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably just going to end up writing a house set mixing the two. But one thing I'm definitely going to do, which is from the Geezer's Shut It game is these things, and in Geezer's Shut It you have little chits. Here's the sheet. Little evidence chits that you pick up through the course of the game, and rather than doing that and having these lying around, I've got a little bit sturdier, and I'm going to use counters. And you pick a counter up, and then you just draw the first card off the evidence card deck to show you what you've picked. And there's been a bit of an issue with some cheap glue, but so there we go. As you pick a black square up, and it turns out that you've found some drugs. A quick toot, and it shows that it's green for evidence. It tells you what it is. Nice picture as well. Or you've got a bit of a blagger's dab. You've got some evidence there. You can see here where we've got the staining coming through from the card, from the glue. I'll probably just print these and slip them over the top. And then you have a series of red herrings, and this one, old 1970s base. So we've got a chopper bike here, and lots of oohs and ahs from people of my age. We all wanted one of these when we were kids. And these basically used during the scenario, and you have to pick them all up, all the evidence chits. If you don't, then an unturned evidence chit will count as a red herring. And the more evidence you get, the more likelihood there will be of somebody getting sent down to prison as a result of the evidence that you've gathered. So these are a nice little thing, I think. Look at that, we've got a wad of cash, we've got a space hopper, we've got a bacon sarnie, shooter, a gentleman's magazine, some bank blueprints, blagger's balaclava, some sweet cigarettes, remember them, Scooby-Doo print, shoe for all you people, a Party 7, going back now, aren't we, Bay City Roller single, pack of Spangles, some snitch food, a lava lamp, and a cig butt. So they'll be randomly distributed around the table for people to pick up and have an effect on the end of the game. So that's a really nice idea. I like that, and I shall be including it in whatever set of rules we use in the end. So that's all the gaming we'll do, and let's have a look at where we are with our followers. Here's the monthly update on numbers. Personally, just for me, Team YG, like to see how we're getting on the various social media channels. So Facebook, we're up 17, nice steady slow thing there. Not a lot of new viewers on Facebook, I don't think, and just slow steady growth, happy enough with that. Twitter's up 31, very happy with that. A lot of people lost a lot of followers this month, mostly right-wing bots and things that were followers of Trump, so I'm quite proud that I've gone up rather than gone down. I've done quite well there. I do keep politics very much off all my social media. It just causes too many arguments, but I'm happy I've gone up when a lot of people have gone down this month. Instagram, massive jump there, 74. That's up about 10%. I don't know why that is. Lot of interaction on Instagram. If I post something up, I'll probably get 200 interactions with a post. So a quarter of the people that are following or liking me or whatever it is on there interact with those posts, whereas Twitter's 70 or 80, so you're getting less than 5% there. So that's interesting if you're into that sort of statistical stuff. And then finally the YouTube's a big surprise that it's up nearly 50 this month. I've only done one video other than the monthly update this month. Plan to do quite a few after action reports and playthroughs next month. I've got a couple of weeks off work in February. I'm going to try and do some videos during that couple of weeks. So there you go, there's the current followers of Team YG. So there we go, that's the end of this month's update. A little bit shorter than normal, probably because we haven't bought out this month. But lots of new figures in, as you can see. This is the Allied Italian Legion build, and if you've looked on the blog post and on the AnalogHobbies challenge, I'm using this method as a bit of a sort of encouragement, if you like. I've laid out all the bases for the project, blank from MDF, and put them together like this, in the formation that they're going to fight on the battlefield in the checkerboard. More on that later. I'm going to do a big blog post and video on that, and using the various potential options to how they fought in various rule sets. But for the moment, you can see how things are building up. It's a good encouragement to do it this way for me. As I finish off each unit, I see the amount of MDF disappear, and it's starting to look like a proper army now. And this is a month's work. We're a month on exactly, 20th to 20th, with the videos. So hopefully it will be very, very nearly finished when we come back in February. If not, it'll definitely be finished by the time we get to March, unless something goes drastically wrong. So that just leaves me to say thank you very much for following Yarkshire Gamer. Thank you for watching the videos. I hope you have a great January and into February. Hopefully it's not too cold if you're in the northern hemisphere, and you're lucky sods having the sunshine down in the southern hemisphere. And we'll see you next month with a lot more new painted stuff, and I promise I'll buy something else as well. See you.